For decades, when you think of musical parody, there's really only one name that comes to mind: Weird Al Yankovic. You know him, right? The Hawaiian shirts, that accordion, the incredible hair. I mean, he is the undisputed king, a 5-time Grammy winner who's been making us all laugh since the late 70s. But, the story behind the comedy, it's even more amazing than the songs themselves.
But here's the thing. If you just write him off as a funny guy with an accordion, you'd be making a huge mistake. Because behind that wacky persona, there is a brilliant musician, a super sharp cultural critic, and honestly, a surprisingly principled artist who has built one of the most unique and, let's face it, long-lasting careers in the history of entertainment.
And I mean, the numbers really speak for themselves. He's sold over 12 million albums. Just let that sink in for a second. In an industry that is notorious for one-hit wonders, especially in comedy music, Al has somehow stayed relevant and successful for over 40 years. It's just incredible.
So how did he do it? How did this, shy, nerdy kid from California turn into this pop culture icon? Well, let's peel back the layers and really figure out who Alfred Matthew Yankovic really is.
Okay, so every great story has a surprising start, and Al's is definitely no exception. It's a journey that begins not with a guitar, like you'd expect, but with a much boxier instrument.
That's right. The legend is true. A door-to-door salesman actually offered his parents a choice: guitar lessons or accordion lessons. They went with the accordion, and his dad even joked that it would revolutionize rock. You know what? In a weird way, he was kind of right.
Okay, now what's so fascinating about this is the incredible contrast you're seeing here. On one side, you have this certified genius, a high school valedictorian at just 16 years old, who then gets a whole degree in architecture. But on the other side, his career literally started by recording a parody of My Sharona called My Bologna in a college bathroom just to get the echo right. Think about that, an Ivy League-level mind with a public restroom production budget. So, how does he turn these goofy ideas into pure comedy gold? Well, his creative process is way more sophisticated than you might think. It's a meticulous craft that he has absolutely perfected over the decades. This is so crucial to understanding his work. Al isn't making fun of the artists. His genius is all about the contrast. He takes the exact sound of a song, the style, the attitude, the production, and then just drops a completely unrelated, silly topic right into the middle of it. The original song is the setup, and his hilarious new lyrics are the punchline.
And this breaks his method down perfectly. It all starts with the idea, of course, but step 2, that's what makes him different. See, legally, he doesn't have to do this, but Al always asks for permission from the original artist. It's this mark of respect that's earned him an absolutely stellar reputation in the industry. Only then does he move on to painstakingly recreating the track and writing his parody.
And we have to give a huge shout out to his band. These guys, Jim West, Steve J, and John Bermuda Schwartz, they've been with him for decades, and they are musical chameleons. They can replicate a Michael Jackson pop anthem, a Red Hot Chili Peppers funk rock track, or a Chamillionaire rap song with just breathtaking accuracy. They are truly the unsung heroes of the Weird Al sound.
This quote is just legendary. When Al called up Kurt Cobain to ask for permission to parody Smells Like Teen Spirit, Cobain's only question was if it was going to be another food song. Al said, "No, it's about how no one can understand your lyrics." Kurt Cobain loved it, and he later said that having Weird Al parody your song was the moment you knew you'd truly made it.
But, it hasn't all been a smooth ride to the top. Like any career that lasts this long, Al's has had its share of really dramatic ups and downs, which just goes to show his incredible resilience.
This timeline really captures that roller coaster perfectly. So in 1984, Eat It makes him a global superstar. He is on top of the world. Then 5 years later, his passion project, the movie UHF, totally bombs at the box office, and his career just stalls out. He was in a serious slump. Michael Jackson even turned down his idea for a black or white parody because the song was too serious. But that rejection led him to discover Nirvana, and Smells Like Nirvana brought him roaring back, bigger than he'd ever been before.
And that ability to bounce back, it really speaks volumes about his character. So let's take a look at the man behind the accordion, a person who's really defined by his strong principles and this quiet perseverance. This is what you might call the Weird Al code of conduct. He's famously clean living, his music doesn't have any profanity because he knows a lot of his fans are kids, he's a vegetarian, and he even turned down a massive payday for a beer commercial just because it didn't align with his values.
And this quote explains his thinking perfectly. He said no to that beer commercial because he felt the sense of responsibility to his audience. He didn't want to endorse something that could be harmful, especially to his younger fans. It's a level of integrity you just don't see that often.
And his strength of character was never more obvious than in 2004. After his parents died in a tragic accident, he made the incredibly difficult decision to go on with his tour that very same night. He said that since his music had helped his fans get through tough times, maybe, just maybe, it could help him too. The stage became his therapy.
And all that perseverance paid off in the biggest way imaginable. In 2014, with the album Mandatory Fun, Weird Al Yankovic scored his very first #1 album on the Billboard charts. After 4 decades in the business, he was finally, officially, at the very top.
And then in 2018, it all became permanent. He was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, cementing his place not just as a comedian or a musician, but as a true, beloved entertainment legend.
You know, in the end, Weird Al's story really reveals a powerful truth. He built a legendary career on being smart, being meticulous, and being fundamentally kind. He proved that you don't have to be mean to be funny, and you definitely don't have to compromise your principles to be successful. And in a world that often feels pretty divided, that's a legacy worth celebrating.